I think people are hesitant sometimes to acknowledge the harm done because it's an uncomfortable thing to acknowledge. It's uncomfortable to come to terms with the fact that a lot of the wealth that's been generated, a lot of the opportunities that we experience as individuals, a lot of the privileges that we are able to avail ourselves of are actually rooted in some kind of heinous activities of the past.
We're still dealing with the effects of slavery in this country, hundreds of years later. I think about the late, great John Lewis, who was in the fight and physically beaten and, many, many times. And while we've made some strides, look at how much further we still have to go as a country.
The whole world saw what happened. And they were heartbroken by what happened, and we want to see real change. And part of that real change, of course, means, taking a look in the mirror, whether it's you personally or your company or whatever you represent, and pushing to make the kind of change that is lasting and not just jumping on the bandwagon. It has to, again, be embedded in the culture of what you do.
And I think it's really important for us to acknowledge who we are and where we've been and the things that we've done, if we have any hope of achieving that kind of brighter future that I think we're all grasping for.
In this moment in time, it's made us be introspective and think about our relationship to other ethnic groups, to land, and to really think about our role in the ecosystem, either in complicity or in being so siloed that maybe we've worked really, really hard defending one population or supporting one population and not looking at the whole.
Start with surfacing the ugly truth, really surfacing it and looking at it. And not just acknowledging that truth, but then holding yourself accountable to do things that are changing the actual outcomes on a systems level.
What I love is the way folks reacted this time around, particularly young people, and young people really taking to the streets to say enough is enough. And we've had it with this, and we're going to make some change.
People are recognizing, and organizations and political and power structures are seeing that, it does require a coordinated effort of resources to make these outcomes. And so when we have all this awareness, right, created by protests, created by general unrest, it's how do we translate that into action? How do we translate that into tangible outcomes? And that's really exciting because I feel like the conversation has shifted.
The sustained energy people have around wanting to help and wanting to keep learning about how to make good on the pledges they made after George Floyd's murder around race and diversity and inclusion and equity in their companies, and that they really do want to make good on those pledges and realize it's not as easy as they thought it was going to be, but they're sticking with it. So that gives me hope that I still see that.
It is long and sometimes even hard, but it's also wonderful when you see people come together, when you see people care about each other, when you see people love each other. Fear may be a very old emotion, but love is really, really powerful.
I think the big question is not whether this is a different moment, but what this different moment is going to lead to in terms of long-lasting change.